I'm Dr. Marcus Lang, a radiologist with nearly 15 years dedicated to the art and science of diagnostic imaging. My career has been shaped within the walls of the Central Radiology Center, a facility renowned not only for its cutting-edge technology, but also for the relentless pursuit of clarity in the unseen realms of the human body. Here, where every pixel and photon holds the promise of revelation, I have witnessed images that have challenged my understanding and expanded the horizons of medical knowledge. The Central Radiology Center is more than a hospital wing. It is a sanctuary of discovery. Equipped with the latest generation of MRI machines, CT scanners, and digital X-ray systems, it stands at the intersection of innovation and patient care. Our team comprises experts whose meticulous attention to detail transforms raw data into diagnostic insight. It is within this environment that I have grown confident in my ability to interpret the invisible, until recently, when an image appeared that defied all known principles of radiology. Our work often involves routine screenings and emergency diagnostics, a flow of cases that demands both precision and intuition. It was during one such routine examination that an X-ray emerged, presenting an anomaly so perplexing that it unsettled the very foundation of my expertise. This image, unlike any I had encountered before, displayed what could only be described as an impossible shadow, an object nested within the patient's chest cavity, yet lacking any recognizable form or pattern. The anomaly did not resemble the typical artifacts or errors that occasionally mar our images. It was neither a technical glitch nor a result of patient movement. Instead, it appeared as a distinct, consistent shape, clearly captured by the advanced imaging sensors yet utterly inexplicable by conventional medical knowledge. The discovery sparked a mixture of intrigue and unease among our team, prompting immediate discussions about its nature and implications. In the sterile, softly humming room where the X-rays are developed and analyzed, I found myself drawn repeatedly to the screen displaying the image. The shape was unlike any anatomical structure, foreign to the patterns we have cataloged over decades. It seemed to challenge the very reliability of our diagnostic tools, yet the clarity and consistency of the image argued against any artifact. This contradiction fueled my determination to delve deeper, to seek answers where none seemed forthcoming. The Central Radiology Center prides itself on being a beacon of hope for patients and a crucible of innovation for medical professionals. Our mission is to illuminate the unknown, to translate shadows into stories of health or disease. This mission felt suddenly complicated by the presence of an anomaly that resisted classification. It was a reminder that, despite technological advances, the human body and the imaging that reveals it still held mysteries waiting to be unraveled. As the lead radiologist, I convened preliminary meetings with my colleagues to review the findings. The image was subjected to rigorous scrutiny by specialists in radiologic physics and imaging technology, yet no satisfactory explanation emerged. All conventional causes, equipment malfunction, image processing errors, or known pathological formations were systematically ruled out. The anomaly's persistence across multiple imaging attempts only deepened the mystery. This initial discovery was the first thread in what would become an intricate tapestry of investigation. It underscored the delicate balance between confidence and humility in medical practice. While our tools can reveal remarkable detail, they also confront us with questions that challenge our understanding. The Central Radiology Center, with its commitment to excellence, became the stage upon which this enigma would gradually unfold. In the weeks following the discovery, the image was shared cautiously among select experts within the center. Their responses ranged from skepticism to cautious curiosity. Some proposed rare and obscure medical conditions. Others speculated about unknown foreign bodies, or even the possibility of previously undocumented phenomena. The discourse was intense, reflecting the complex interplay between evidence and interpretation that defines radiology. The presence of this anomaly disrupted the usual rhythm of our work. Routine cases now carried an undercurrent of anticipation, as every scan was examined not only for patient diagnosis but also for any sign that might relate to the mysterious structure. It became clear that this was no isolated incident, but the beginning of a profound medical puzzle that would test our knowledge and resolve. In the quiet moments between consultations and imaging sessions, I reflected on the role of radiology in modern medicine. It is an art of seeing beyond the surface, of capturing the invisible threads that connect symptoms to diagnosis. Yet this anomaly seemed to mock that clarity, reminding me that the human body, and by extension the science that reveals it, is still a frontier of unknowns. The Central Radiology Center's reputation for groundbreaking imaging cases added weight to this discovery. We had encountered rare pathologies before, but none had presented so starkly outside the realm of known medical science. This anomaly was a challenge not just to our diagnostic skills but to the very principles upon which radiology stands. It was a call to question, to investigate, and to remain open to possibilities beyond current understanding. As I prepared to lead the next phase of investigation, I felt a mixture of excitement and responsibility. The anomaly was more than a clinical curiosity. It was a symbol of the limits of our knowledge and a catalyst for advancing it. The Central Radiology Center, with its resources and expertise, was uniquely positioned to confront this challenge, and I was determined to guide this journey with rigor and an open mind. In the days ahead, we would expand our efforts, bringing in specialists from diverse fields and employing every available technology to decipher the anomaly. But in this moment, standing at the threshold of the unknown, I was reminded that medicine is as much about humility as it is about certainty. The image on that X-ray was a silent question, inviting us to look closer, think deeper, and embrace the mysteries that still lie hidden within the human body. The diagnostic suite at the Central Radiology Center buzzed with a focused energy that I had come to appreciate over years of practice, a blend of quiet concentration and the hum of high-powered machinery. Our imaging equipment was among the most advanced in the country, capable of capturing minute details invisible to the naked eye. It was in this environment, surrounded by the steady rhythm of scanners cycling through sequences and monitors displaying intricate anatomical maps, that the anomaly first revealed itself. The room where we conduct X-rays is designed for precision and efficiency. Lead-lined walls shield us from stray radiation, while ergonomic workstations allow radiologists and technicians to collaborate seamlessly. The team here is exceptional, a blend of seasoned experts and bright new talent, all committed to unraveling the stories hidden within each image. On the day the anomaly appeared, the usual calm was tinged with an undercurrent of anticipation, as if the machine itself sensed something unusual ahead. The patient, a young woman, had been referred for a routine chest X-ray following complaints of mild respiratory discomfort, a symptom common enough to warrant standard imaging but rarely the precursor to anything extraordinary. The process was straightforward: positioning the patient carefully, calibrating the equipment, and initiating the exposure that would translate her internal structures into a grayscale map on our screens. What followed, however, was anything but routine. As the digital image was rendered, an unexpected shadow emerged within the contours of her chest. It was subtle at first, a faint outline that did not conform to the familiar silhouettes of bones, vessels, or lung tissue. Yet there it was, distinct, consistent, and unmistakable. The shadow appeared as a defined shape, almost geometric in nature, occupying a space where nothing like it should exist. My immediate reaction was one of disbelief, tempered by the knowledge that imaging artifacts or patient movement could sometimes produce misleading patterns. To rule out these possibilities, we repeated the X-ray under controlled conditions, ensuring the patient remained perfectly still and the equipment functioned optimally. Each successive image confirmed the presence of the anomaly, its shape unwavering and its position unchanged. It was as if the shadow had a physical presence, resisting all attempts to dismiss it as a mere technical error. This persistence transformed our curiosity into concern, compelling us to look beyond standard explanations. The anomaly's form was perplexing. Unlike typical foreign bodies that might appear in the chest, such as inhaled objects or surgical implants, this shape lacked any identifiable texture or composition on the X-ray. It did not cast shadows consistent with metal or organic material, and there were no signs of inflammation or tissue disruption around it. The surrounding lung fields remained clear, and the patient's vital signs were stable, adding to the enigma. Our team gathered to discuss these findings in detail. The radiology technicians reviewed each image meticulously, confirming the consistency across exposures. The physicists calibrated the machines to ensure no hidden malfunctions were influencing the results. Even the digital processing software was scrutinized for glitches that might create false images. Yet, after exhaustive checks, the anomaly remained an undeniable reality on the screen. This discovery sparked a ripple of questions. How could such an object exist undetected by previous examinations? Was it a benign anomaly, or did it represent an unrecognized pathological condition? The usual parameters of diagnostic reasoning seemed inadequate in the face of this shadow. It was as if the image was a puzzle piece from a picture we had never seen, challenging us to reconsider what we thought we knew about chest anatomy and imaging physics. The patient's mild respiratory symptoms added another layer of complexity. While unrelated complaints often lead to incidental findings, the possibility that this shadow was linked to her discomfort could not be dismissed. Yet, clinically, she presented no signs of distress, no coughing fits, no wheezing, no abnormal breath sounds. Her medical history was unremarkable, with no past surgeries, traumas, or exposures that might explain a foreign presence. In the days following the initial images, I spent hours reviewing the scans, comparing them with thousands of others archived in our system. Nothing matched. The anomaly defied categorization, standing apart from known radiologic phenomena. It was a reminder that even with the most advanced technology, the human body can surprise us, hiding secrets behind familiar facades. The multidisciplinary nature of our work at the Central Radiology Center became essential. I reached out to pulmonologists, radiologic physicists, and biomedical engineers, seeking perspectives that might shed light on this enigma. Each brought a unique lens, clinical insights, technical expertise, or material science knowledge, but none could provide a definitive explanation. The anomaly's consistent appearance across imaging modalities suggested it was not an artifact, yet its nature remained elusive. Throughout this process, the atmosphere in our diagnostic suite shifted subtly. Where once confidence reigned, now a cautious uncertainty took hold. Yet this uncertainty was not paralyzing. Rather, it fueled a collective determination to push the boundaries of our understanding. The anomaly was no longer just an image. It was a challenge to our diagnostic acumen and a call to explore beyond established limits. The technological prowess of our center allowed us to consider additional imaging techniques. Plans were made to employ CT scans and MRIs to gather more detailed data. Each modality promised different insights, CT offering cross-sectional views with high resolution, MRI revealing soft tissue contrasts that could help characterize the anomaly's composition and relationship to surrounding structures. These advanced studies were scheduled with urgency, but also with meticulous preparation to maximize their diagnostic yield. As the team prepared for the next phase of investigation, I reflected on the delicate interplay between technology and human judgment in radiology. Our machines translate invisible realities into images, but it is the radiologist's experience and intuition that interpret these patterns into meaningful diagnoses. The anomaly challenged both, reminding us that medicine is as much an art as a science. In the meantime, the patient remained under careful observation. Her mild respiratory symptoms persisted, yet no new clinical signs emerged. She was cooperative and curious, expressing a quiet hope that the mystery might soon be solved. Her trust in our expertise was humbling, reinforcing the profound responsibility we bear as interpreters of the unseen. The anomaly's presence transformed a routine diagnostic environment into a crucible of inquiry. Every image acquired, every discussion held, and every hypothesis proposed was a step toward understanding something that, until now, seemed impossible. It was a testament to the enduring complexity of human anatomy and the ever-evolving nature of medical science. As I prepared to review the upcoming imaging studies, I carried with me a sense of cautious anticipation. The anomaly was a silent enigma captured in light and shadow, beckoning us deeper into the uncharted territories of diagnostic medicine. In the heart of the Central Radiology Center, where technology meets curiosity, we stood ready to follow wherever the images might lead. Clara Simmons was unlike most patients I encounter. Young, vibrant, and without any prior medical history, she came to us with a complaint that seemed on the surface quite ordinary, a mild respiratory discomfort that had lingered just long enough to warrant a precautionary chest X-ray. There was nothing in her background to suggest the extraordinary would unfold from such a routine referral, yet from the moment her images appeared on our screens, it was clear this case would defy expectations. Clara's initial clinical presentation was deceptively simple. She had experienced a subtle tightness in her chest and a slight shortness of breath, symptoms that often accompany a host of benign conditions, from seasonal allergies to minor viral infections. Her physical examination was unremarkable. Clear lung sounds, normal heart rate, and stable oxygen saturation. There was no fever, no cough, no history of smoking or environmental exposures that might point towards a respiratory pathology. Yet, given the persistence of her symptoms, her primary physician had wisely requested a chest X-ray to rule out underlying causes. When Clara arrived at the Central Radiology Center, she carried with her a calm demeanor and a quiet curiosity about the imaging process. She was cooperative during the positioning and exposure, understanding the importance of stillness for image clarity. The routine nature of the procedure contrasted sharply with the extraordinary images that would soon emerge. The initial X-ray revealed the anomaly, a shadow within the chest cavity that did not correspond to any known anatomical structure. For Clara, this shadow was the first sign of a medical mystery that would soon envelop her life. Despite the enigmatic image, Clara remained composed, her mild symptoms unchanged but her concern growing with each unanswered question. As the anomaly was confirmed on repeated imaging, Clara became an active participant in the unfolding investigation. She asked insightful questions, seeking to understand what the shadow meant and how it might impact her health. Her resilience and openness were remarkable, especially given the uncertainty that surrounded her condition. The emotional weight of not knowing was palpable, yet Clara faced it with determination and grace. Her family, too, became entwined in the narrative. They expressed a mixture of worry and hope, grappling with the unknown while supporting Clara through the cascade of tests and consultations. Their presence underscored the human dimension behind the medical enigma, a reminder that each case is more than clinical data. It is a story of lives touched by mystery. In the days following the initial discovery, Clara underwent a series of diagnostic evaluations beyond the X-ray. Blood tests, pulmonary function assessments, and cardiac evaluations all returned normal results, deepening the sense of perplexity. There were no signs of infection, inflammation, or systemic disease that might explain the shadow seen on imaging. Clara's respiratory symptoms persisted, mild but persistent, as if the body whispered a subtle signal that something was amiss. We scheduled advanced imaging studies to gain further insight. A CT scan was performed to provide detailed cross-sectional views of Clara's chest, aiming to characterize the anomaly's size, shape, and relationship to surrounding tissues. The scan confirmed the presence of the shadow, revealing it as a distinct entity nestled within the thoracic cavity. Yet, it lacked characteristics typical of known masses or foreign objects. Its margins were smooth, its density inconsistent with solid tissue or fluid collections. An MRI followed, offering a different perspective through soft tissue contrast. The anomaly appeared as an area of unusual signal intensity, but again, it defied classification. There were no signs of vascular involvement, no evidence of inflammation, and no features to suggest a benign or malignant tumor. The images raised more questions than answers, deepening the mystery that now defined Clara's case. Throughout these investigations, Clara's clinical stability was both reassuring and confounding. Her symptoms did not escalate. She maintained her daily activities with only minor limitations. This paradox, the presence of a seemingly inexplicable structure alongside relative clinical normalcy, challenged conventional diagnostic paradigms. It forced us to consider possibilities beyond the usual spectrum of thoracic diseases. Clara's active engagement in her care was inspiring. She attended every appointment, reviewed images with the team, and participated in discussions about potential explanations. Her courage in facing uncertainty was a testament to the human spirit's capacity to endure in the face of the unknown. She became more than a patient. She was a partner in the quest for understanding. The multidisciplinary team at the Central Radiology Center expanded its involvement. Pulmonologists assessed Clara's respiratory function, while thoracic surgeons evaluated the feasibility and risks of potential biopsy or surgical exploration. Pathologists prepared to analyze any tissue samples if obtained, though the risks of invasive procedures weighed heavily given Clara's stable condition. Each specialist contributed their expertise, united by a shared determination to solve the puzzle. As the team deliberated on next steps, Clara's case began to attract attention beyond our center. Colleagues from academic institutions and research facilities expressed interest, recognizing the anomaly's potential to reveal new insights into chest pathology or imaging science. Clara's story was becoming a beacon for collaborative inquiry, illustrating the power of medicine to confront uncertainty with curiosity and rigor. The emotional landscape of Clara's journey was complex. Moments of hope were interspersed with episodes of frustration and anxiety, natural responses to the liminal space between diagnosis and mystery. The support she received from family, friends, and the medical team was vital in sustaining her resilience. We endeavored to provide not only technical expertise, but also compassionate care, acknowledging the profound impact of uncertainty on a person's well-being. In reviewing Clara's case with my colleagues, I often reflected on the unpredictable nature of medicine. Despite advances in technology and knowledge, there remain enigmas that challenge our assumptions and invite us to rethink. Clara's anomaly was a stark reminder that every patient is unique, and that sometimes the body holds secrets that transcend current understanding. Her mild respiratory symptoms, while seemingly minor, were the thread that led us to uncover a profound mystery. The juxtaposition of clinical normalcy with radiologic anomaly created a tension that fueled our investigative efforts. It was a call to balance skepticism with openness, to apply science without losing sight of the human story. As Clara continued her evaluations, I remained struck by her composure and the quiet strength she exhibited. She entrusted us with her care, even as the answers remained elusive. Her case was more than a diagnostic challenge. It was a narrative about courage, uncertainty, and the enduring quest to illuminate the unknown. The shadow within Clara's chest had transformed from an image on a screen to a living enigma that connected patient, family, and medical team in a shared journey. Each step taken was a testament to the collaborative spirit of medicine, a blend of technology, expertise, empathy, and relentless curiosity. In Clara's story, I saw the essence of what it means to be a physician confronted with the mysteries that still lie beyond the edge of knowledge. The more we delved into Clara Simmons's case, the more the anomaly revealed itself as a puzzle that resisted easy explanation. Each new imaging study seemed only to deepen the mystery, revealing a structure that was at once tangible yet defied all conventional medical understanding. It was neither a tumor nor a foreign object, nor did it resemble any known anatomical variant. Its presence within Clara's chest cavity became a central enigma, challenging the very foundation of what we believed was possible to detect and interpret through imaging. The initial X-rays had been just the opening act. With the CT scans and MRIs confirming the anomaly's existence and peculiar characteristics, our team faced the daunting task of interpreting something that sat outside the bounds of typical pathology. The shape was oddly consistent, a smooth, well-defined form occupying space in the thorax without any associated tissue reaction or inflammation. There were no signs of invasion into surrounding structures, no lymphadenopathy, and no vascular anomalies. It was as if this entity existed in isolation, a silent occupant within Clara's body. This defiance of conventional patterns prompted us to explore every angle. We repeated scans with varying protocols, adjusting contrast and imaging sequences to tease out any hidden details. We employed advanced three-dimensional reconstructions, hoping that a different perspective might reveal clues obscured in two-dimensional views. Yet, the anomaly remained stubbornly inscrutable, its nature veiled in layers of radiologic ambiguity. Our multidisciplinary team meetings grew increasingly intense. Pulmonologists, thoracic surgeons, radiologists, pathologists, and even material scientists gathered to dissect the findings. The anomaly's resistance to classification forced us to consider possibilities beyond typical medical diagnoses. Could it be an unknown biological formation, a previously undocumented benign lesion, or perhaps something entirely outside the realm of biology, a material foreign to the human body but somehow present. The idea of a non-biological presence within a living person was unsettling, yet the imaging characteristics did not align with any known tissue or pathological process. Biopsy was considered but posed significant risks given the anomaly's location and Clara's stable condition. We faced a dilemma: to intervene invasively without a clear target or to continue observing an enigma that might hold the key to new medical knowledge. Clara's condition remained stable, which paradoxically both reassured and frustrated us. Her mild respiratory symptoms persisted, but there were no signs of progression or deterioration. The anomaly did not change in size or appearance across serial imaging, suggesting a static entity rather than an evolving disease. This stability complicated decision-making, as it challenged the urgency of invasive diagnostics while underscoring the anomaly's mysterious nature. Throughout this process, Clara's emotional journey intertwined with the clinical complexity. She faced the uncertainty with remarkable fortitude, yet I could sense the toll of living with an unanswered question lodged within her chest. The medical team endeavored to support her, offering clear communication and compassionate care, recognizing that the mystery extended beyond the imaging into the realm of human experience. As the anomaly continued to defy explanation, we expanded our investigative approach. Collaborations were sought with experts in fields not typically involved in routine chest pathology: material science specialists who could analyze potential foreign substances, biophysicists who might model unusual tissue characteristics, and even environmental scientists who considered the possibility of exposure to exotic materials. Each brought a perspective that enriched our understanding, even as definitive answers remained elusive. The anomaly's consistency across multiple imaging modalities was particularly perplexing. It did not behave like a cystic lesion, which often presents with fluid characteristics on MRI, nor did it show calcifications typical of certain tumors or granulomas. Its density on CT scans was unlike bone or metal, and its signal on MRI did not correspond to fat, muscle, or other soft tissues. This unique profile made it a radiologic enigma, a shape that refused to be pinned down by existing classification systems. The medical literature yielded few parallels. Cases of unexplained shadows or foreign bodies within the chest are documented but typically have identifiable causes: retained surgical materials, inhaled objects, or congenital anomalies. Clara's anomaly did not fit any known pattern. Its smooth, almost geometric appearance was unlike the organic irregularities that characterize most pathologies. It was an anomaly not only in presence but in form. This realization shifted our thinking. Perhaps the anomaly represented a phenomenon yet to be understood, something at the intersection of biology, physics, and unknown environmental factors. The possibility that we were witnessing a novel entity, one that challenged the boundaries of current medical science, brought both excitement and caution. It underscored the importance of rigorous scientific inquiry balanced with patient safety and ethical responsibility. In clinical rounds, we debated the risks and benefits of further invasive investigation versus continued non-invasive monitoring. The consensus leaned toward cautious observation, given Clara's stable symptoms and the absence of signs suggesting malignancy or infection. Still, the need for vigilance was clear. Regular imaging follow-ups were planned to detect any changes that might alter the clinical picture or provide new clues. The anomaly also prompted reflection on the limits of diagnostic imaging itself. Despite remarkable advances, our tools are still interpretations of indirect signals: X-rays capturing shadows, MRIs mapping magnetic properties, CT scans reconstructing slices. Sometimes these signals produce images that challenge our understanding, revealing not just disease but the limits of our knowledge. Clara's case was a vivid reminder that technology, while powerful, is not infallible, and that the human element, curiosity, skepticism, and perseverance, remains essential. In this context, the Central Radiology Center reaffirmed its role as a hub for innovation and inquiry. Our commitment to patient-centered care was matched by a dedication to pushing the frontiers of diagnostic medicine. Clara's case became a catalyst for interdisciplinary collaboration, bringing together diverse expertise in a shared quest to understand the unknown. As weeks turned into months, the anomaly's presence became a constant in Clara's life and in ours. It was a silent partner in every consultation, a shadow that demanded attention and respect. We documented every detail meticulously, building a comprehensive record that might one day provide answers or guide others facing similar mysteries. Through it all, Clara's resilience remained a source of inspiration. Her trust in the medical team and her willingness to engage with an uncertain future highlighted the profound human dimension of this medical odyssey. The anomaly, for all its perplexity, had forged a connection between patient and caregivers, united by a shared commitment to discovery and hope. The anomaly within Clara's chest stood as a testament to the unpredictable nature of medicine and the enduring mysteries of the human body. It challenged our assumptions, expanded our horizons, and reminded us that, despite all we know, there are still frontiers waiting to be explored. In the quiet hum of the imaging suite, beneath the layers of grayscale and contrast, it beckoned us onward into the unknown. As the mystery of Clara Simmons's anomaly deepened, our approach evolved into a truly multidisciplinary endeavor, reflecting the complexity and uncertainty that had come to define her case. What began as a puzzling image on a routine X-ray had blossomed into a collaborative investigation involving specialists across fields: pulmonology, pathology, material science, and beyond. Each brought a unique lens to the enigma, yet despite exhaustive testing and analysis, the anomaly continued to defy explanation, underscoring the limits of current medical knowledge. Within the Central Radiology Center, daily discussions grew more intense and wide-ranging. Pulmonologists assessed Clara's respiratory function with increasing scrutiny, conducting detailed pulmonary function tests and bronchoscopy evaluations to search for any physiological correlates to the shadow seen on imaging. Yet, clinically, Clara remained remarkably stable. Her mild symptoms persisted, but there was no evidence of airway obstruction, inflammation, or infection that might explain the anomaly's presence or her discomfort. Pathologists prepared for the possibility of tissue biopsy, though the risks associated with invasive sampling of the chest cavity weighed heavily in our deliberations. The anomaly's location was precarious, nestled near vital structures, and without a clear target that would guarantee diagnostic yield. When biopsy was finally pursued, the samples returned inconclusive: no malignant cells, no infectious agents, no recognizable tissue patterns emerged. The histological analysis added another layer of complexity, revealing only fibrous tissue and nonspecific cellular elements that failed to clarify the nature of the anomaly. Material scientists joined the effort, intrigued by the possibility that the anomaly might consist of non-biological substances. Employing advanced spectroscopy and elemental analysis techniques on biopsy specimens and imaging data, they sought to identify any unusual compounds or foreign materials. Their investigations, however, yielded no definitive results. The anomaly's composition remained elusive, appearing neither metallic nor polymeric, nor matching any known environmental contaminants. This absence of identifiable material challenged assumptions and expanded the scope of inquiry. The emotional impact on Clara and her family was profound. As the medical mystery deepened, so did their anxiety and hope, intertwined in a delicate balance. Clara's resilience was remarkable. She faced each new test and consultation with determination, seeking understanding amid uncertainty. Her family's support was unwavering, providing a vital anchor as they navigated the complexities of diagnosis and care. The human dimensions of this scientific enigma were as significant as the radiologic findings themselves. Throughout this period, communication within the medical team was paramount. We held regular interdisciplinary meetings to share findings, reassess hypotheses, and plan next steps. These discussions illuminated the value of diverse expertise and perspectives, fostering a culture of open inquiry and mutual respect. Each specialist contributed pieces to a puzzle that remained incomplete, yet the collaborative spirit fueled ongoing investigation and innovation. Clara's case also drew the attention of researchers beyond our center. Invitations arrived for me and colleagues to present preliminary findings at conferences and seminars, sparking discussions about the implications of such unexplained anomalies in diagnostic imaging. The case became a catalyst for broader reflection on the boundaries of medical knowledge and the challenges of interpreting novel imaging phenomena. It highlighted the necessity of interdisciplinary collaboration and the humility required to confront the unknown. The clinical uncertainty extended into ethical considerations. How do we balance the imperative to diagnose and treat with the risks of invasive procedures when the nature of the anomaly is unclear? How do we support a patient living with an unresolved medical enigma, providing care and reassurance without definitive answers? These questions underscored the complexity of Clara's journey and shaped our approach to her care. In the clinical setting, Clara's ongoing evaluations included repeated imaging studies to monitor the anomaly's stability. These follow-ups were critical in detecting any changes that might indicate progression or new pathology. To date, the anomaly remained remarkably consistent in size and appearance, a static presence that neither grew nor diminished. This stability was both a source of cautious optimism and continuing perplexity. The persistence of the anomaly and the absence of definitive diagnosis led us to explore more experimental diagnostic tools. Functional imaging techniques, such as positron emission tomography, PET, were considered to assess metabolic activity within the anomaly. Early results showed no increased uptake, suggesting the lesion was metabolically inert, a finding that further complicated interpretation but also provided reassurance against aggressive pathology. Throughout this investigative odyssey, Clara's psychological well-being was a priority. We engaged mental health professionals to support her coping with uncertainty, anxiety, and the emotional toll of living with a medical mystery. This holistic approach recognized that health extends beyond physical parameters, encompassing emotional and psychological resilience. The medical team's perseverance was mirrored by Clara's unwavering commitment to understanding her condition. She participated actively in discussions about her care, informed consent processes, and decisions about potential interventions. Her partnership exemplified the evolving patient-physician relationship in the face of complex, uncertain diagnoses. The anomaly's resistance to classification challenged not only our diagnostic algorithms but also the frameworks through which we understand the human body. It compelled us to consider phenomena beyond traditional pathology, perhaps developmental anomalies, rare benign formations, or even interactions between biological and environmental factors not yet described in medical literature. As this chapter of Clara's journey unfolded, the Central Radiology Center reaffirmed its role as a hub of innovation and inquiry. The case inspired initiatives to develop protocols for managing unexplained imaging findings, emphasizing multidisciplinary collaboration, patient-centered communication, and ethical deliberation. Clara's experience became a touchstone for training, research, and clinical practice, illustrating the complexities inherent in modern medicine. In reflecting on these developments, I was struck by the interplay between certainty and uncertainty that defines our work. Medicine thrives on evidence and diagnosis, yet it must also embrace the unknown, recognizing that every patient may present challenges that defy current understanding. Clara's case was a vivid reminder that healthcare is as much about navigating ambiguity as it is about treating disease. The journey ahead promised further exploration, additional testing, ongoing monitoring, and perhaps, in time, new insights that would illuminate the anomaly's nature. For now, the shared commitment of Clara, her family, and the multidisciplinary team sustained a delicate balance between hope and humility, science and compassion. Together, we moved forward, guided by a collective resolve to uncover the truth hidden within the shadows of the image, honoring the trust placed in us by a patient whose story had become a beacon for medical discovery and human resilience. The case of Clara Simmons had, by this point, stretched the boundaries of our diagnostic confidence and challenged established medical paradigms. Her anomaly was more than a clinical curiosity. It was a mirror reflecting the limitations of contemporary radiology and the broader medical sciences. It forced us to confront the uncomfortable truth that, despite decades of technological progress and accumulated knowledge, there remain facets of human anatomy and physiology that elude explanation. Our tools, as sophisticated as they were, suddenly seemed insufficient. The anomaly's persistence, its resistance to classification, and its defiance of conventional imaging signatures highlighted the gaps in our understanding. It was clear that the frameworks we relied upon, the catalogs of diseases, the patterns etched into textbooks, the algorithms guiding diagnosis, were not equipped to encompass this phenomenon. This realization was both humbling and invigorating, a call to reassess and expand the horizons of medical science. In quiet moments, I found myself reflecting on the nature of uncertainty in medicine. We are trained to seek answers, to apply evidence-based protocols, to reduce ambiguity. Yet, cases like Clara's remind us that uncertainty is intrinsic to the practice of medicine. It is a space where knowledge ends and inquiry begins, where curiosity must temper certainty. Embracing this uncertainty, rather than fearing it, became a guiding principle as we navigated this uncharted territory. The anomaly's enigmatic qualities prompted speculation and debate within our team and beyond. Could this represent a previously unrecognized biological entity? A benign developmental anomaly so rare it had escaped documentation? Or perhaps something more radical? A form of biological matter altered by environmental or metabolic factors in ways we have yet to comprehend. These questions extended beyond medicine into the realms of biology, physics, and even philosophy. As we pondered these possibilities, the interdisciplinary nature of the investigation became ever more vital. Collaborations with biophysicists explored the physical properties of the anomaly, analyzing signal patterns and tissue characteristics to glean insights into its composition and structure. Environmental scientists examined Clara's history for potential exposures that might account for an unusual material or process. These perspectives enriched our understanding, even as definitive answers remained elusive. The anomaly's stability over time was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it suggested a non-aggressive nature, offering some reassurance against malignancy or infection. On the other, it underscored the enigma's persistence, a constant presence defying resolution. This constancy challenged the typical narratives of disease progression and healing, inviting us to consider models of pathology and physiology that accommodate such anomalies. In clinical practice, this uncertainty complicated decision-making. Without a clear diagnosis, treatment options were limited and fraught with risk. Invasive procedures posed dangers without guaranteed benefit, while conservative monitoring demanded vigilance and patience. Balancing these factors required careful ethical consideration, emphasizing the primacy of patient safety and informed consent. Clara's experience underscored the human dimensions of this scientific quandary. Living with an unexplained anomaly was a source of psychological strain and existential reflection. The medical team recognized the necessity of integrating psychological support into her care, addressing anxiety, coping strategies, and quality of life alongside physical health. This holistic approach acknowledged that medicine extends beyond the biochemical to encompass the whole person. The case also illuminated the unpredictable interface between technology and medicine. Advanced imaging modalities, while powerful, are ultimately interpretive tools. They translate complex physiological and physical phenomena into images. Yet these representations can sometimes reveal phenomena that challenge our interpretive frameworks. Clara's anomaly was a vivid illustration of this dynamic, an image that defied categorization and demanded new ways of seeing and understanding. This realization sparked discussions about the future of diagnostic medicine. How might emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, novel imaging techniques assist in deciphering such anomalies? Could these tools detect subtle patterns or correlations invisible to human observers? The case highlighted the need for ongoing innovation and adaptability in medical practice, embracing technological advances while maintaining critical inquiry. At the same time, Clara's journey reinforced the enduring importance of the human element in medicine. Technology provides data, but it is the clinician's judgment, empathy, and perseverance that translate data into care. The anomaly was not merely an object of study but a challenge to our roles as healers and seekers of knowledge. It reminded us that medicine is as much about navigating ambiguity with compassion as it is about applying certainty. The broader scientific community began to take notice. Clara's case was presented at conferences and symposia, sparking dialogue about the limitations of medical knowledge and the need for interdisciplinary research. It became a touchstone for discussions about the unknown in medicine, the mysteries that persist despite advances, and the ethical and practical challenges they pose. Within the Central Radiology Center, Clara's anomaly inspired initiatives to cultivate a culture of openness and curiosity. Educational programs emphasize the importance of embracing uncertainty and fostering interdisciplinary collaboration. Research efforts sought to develop frameworks for managing unexplained imaging findings, balancing patient safety with scientific inquiry. As months passed, the anomaly remained a constant presence, a silent testament to the complexity of the human body and the mysteries it conceals. Clara's case became a narrative not only of medical investigation but of the dynamic interplay between knowledge and uncertainty that defines the practice of medicine. In reflecting on this journey, I was struck by the paradox at its heart. The more we learn, the more we recognize what remains unknown. Clara's anomaly was a symbol of this paradox, a reminder that medicine is a continual quest, a journey not just toward answers but toward deeper questions. It challenged us to remain humble, curious, and compassionate, embracing the mysteries that compel us forward. Within the quiet confines of the imaging suite, beneath the layers of grayscale and contrast, Clara's anomaly awaited further illumination. It was a beacon calling us to expand our understanding, to push the boundaries of science and medicine, and to honor the enduring complexity of the human condition. The day Clara Simmons experienced sudden respiratory distress remains etched vividly in my memory, a stark reminder that beneath the calm surface of this enigmatic case, unpredictability still lurked. Despite months of clinical stability and exhaustive investigation, the anomaly within her chest was no longer a silent mystery. It had manifested in a tangible, urgent crisis that demanded immediate action. It began with a phone call from Clara's family late in the evening. Her mild symptoms had escalated rapidly. Shortness of breath intensified, accompanied by a sensation of tightness and difficulty drawing a full breath. They described a sudden onset that left her visibly distressed. As her primary radiologist and part of the multidisciplinary team, I was mobilized immediately, coordinating emergency evaluation and intervention. Upon Clara's arrival at the emergency department, the atmosphere was charged with urgency yet tempered by the familiarity of her case. The emergency physicians quickly assessed her airway, breathing, and circulation, noting decreased oxygen saturation and increased work of breathing. Supplemental oxygen was administered, and a portable chest X-ray was ordered to assess any acute changes related to the anomaly or other potential causes. The imaging revealed no overt increase in the size or change in the characteristics of the anomaly. There was no evidence of pneumothorax, effusion, or overt consolidation that could explain her sudden respiratory distress. This absence of clear radiologic cause deepened the clinical puzzle, prompting further evaluation with chest CT to detect subtle changes undetectable on plain radiography. The CT scan showed mild peribronchial inflammation but no significant structural changes or new lesions. The anomaly remained unchanged in size and appearance. Yet Clara's respiratory status was clearly compromised. Pulmonology was consulted urgently, and bronchoscopy was performed to inspect the airways directly. The bronchoscopic examination revealed mild airway edema but no obstruction or foreign body. The cause of Clara's acute respiratory distress remained elusive. Nevertheless, supportive care stabilized her condition over the next several hours. She responded well to bronchodilators, corticosteroids, and oxygen therapy. The rapid resolution of symptoms was encouraging but left unanswered questions about the underlying trigger. This episode marked a turning point in Clara's journey and our approach to her care. The sudden deterioration, despite stable imaging findings, underscored the complexity of the anomaly's impact, or perhaps, its indirect effects on her respiratory system. It raised the possibility that the anomaly might influence airway dynamics or provoke intermittent inflammatory responses not fully captured by imaging. In the days following stabilization, the medical team intensified monitoring and reassessed treatment strategies. We expanded Clara's pulmonary evaluations to include exercise testing and inflammatory marker assessments, seeking subtle clues that might correlate with her episodic symptoms. These tests revealed intermittent bronchial hyperreactivity, suggesting a heightened airway sensitivity that could explain episodic distress. The team deliberated extensively on the implications of this development. While the anomaly itself remained radiologically unchanged, its potential to contribute indirectly to Clara's respiratory symptoms could not be discounted. This insight added nuance to our understanding, emphasizing that the anomaly's influence might extend beyond its physical presence to functional effects within the respiratory system. Clara's resilience throughout this crisis was remarkable. Despite the suddenness and severity of her symptoms, she engaged proactively with the care team, expressing a desire to understand and manage her condition. Her composure and trust in the medical team fortified our resolve to deepen the investigation and optimize her treatment. The episode also galvanized the multidisciplinary team to refine the care plan. Pulmonologists prescribed a regimen incorporating inhaled corticosteroids and bronchodilators to mitigate airway inflammation and hyperreactivity. Regular follow-up visits were scheduled to monitor Clara's respiratory status and adjust therapy as needed. The collaboration between radiology, pulmonology, and primary care intensified, reflecting an integrated approach to this complex case. Simultaneously, we revisited the possibilities of invasive intervention. Though the anomaly remained unexplained, options such as surgical biopsy or resection were weighed against the risks, especially in light of Clara's recent respiratory compromise. The consensus favored conservative management, prioritizing symptom control and vigilant observation over invasive procedures. This episode also highlighted the critical role of patient education and empowerment. Clara was provided with detailed information about recognizing early signs of respiratory distress and instructed on when to seek urgent care. We emphasized the importance of adherence to medical therapy and regular monitoring, fostering a partnership aimed at proactive management. From a broader perspective, Clara's acute episode underscored the unpredictable nature of medical mysteries. Even with meticulous investigation and monitoring, unforeseen developments can arise, challenging assumptions and necessitating adaptive responses. It was a sobering reminder that the human body, with all its complexity, can defy expectations and demand flexibility in clinical care. Within the Central Radiology Center, the crisis catalyzed renewed energy and focus. The team convened to review all available data, integrating this new clinical event into the evolving narrative of Clara's case. Discussions explored potential mechanisms linking the anomaly to functional respiratory changes, considering neurogenic influences, intermittent mechanical effects, or localized inflammatory processes. The episode also prompted us to enhance our emergency preparedness protocols for patients with unexplained anomalies. We developed guidelines to ensure rapid, coordinated responses should Clara or others experience similar crises, emphasizing clear communication channels and multidisciplinary involvement. In the weeks that followed, Clara's condition stabilized with the new therapeutic regimen. She resumed her daily activities with improved confidence, supported by the comprehensive care plan tailored to her unique needs. Regular imaging continued to show the anomaly's unchanged appearance, while pulmonary assessments indicated better symptom control. Reflecting on this chapter of Clara's journey, I was struck by the delicate balance between stability and crisis in medicine. Her sudden respiratory distress was a stark interruption to months of relative calm, yet it also provided critical insights that reshaped our understanding and management. It was a vivid illustration of the unpredictable interplay between anatomy and physiology, between visible structures and invisible functions. Clara's experience reinforced the importance of holistic care, attending not only to images and test results but to symptoms, experiences, and responses. It highlighted the value of interdisciplinary collaboration, patient engagement, and flexibility in clinical reasoning. Above all, it reaffirmed our commitment to walking alongside patients through the uncertainties and urgencies that define the medical journey. As Clara progressed through recovery and follow-up, the memory of that night remained a powerful motivator. It reminded us that behind every image lies a living person, whose health and well-being inspire the relentless pursuit of answers and compassionate care. In the quiet hum of the imaging suite and the bustle of clinical wards, Clara's story continued, a narrative shaped by mystery, resilience, and the enduring quest to understand the unknown. In the wake of Clara's sudden respiratory crisis, our investigative efforts intensified with renewed urgency, pushing the boundaries of conventional diagnostics and prompting us to deploy cutting-edge technologies in search of answers. The anomaly within her chest remained an enigma, unchanged in appearance yet now implicated in functional disturbances that eluded traditional imaging and clinical assessment. To unravel this complex puzzle, we turned to advanced analytical tools and experimental diagnostic modalities, embracing innovation in the face of uncertainty. One of the first steps was to employ spectral imaging techniques, an emerging technology that extends beyond standard CT by analyzing the energy-dependent attenuation of tissues. This method allows for differentiation of material composition based on their unique spectral signatures, potentially distinguishing between biological tissues and foreign substances. Clara underwent spectral CT scans, with data meticulously processed to detect subtle variations that might elucidate the anomaly's nature. The spectral imaging results were intriguing yet inconclusive. The anomaly displayed a composition distinct from surrounding tissues but did not match spectral profiles of known biological materials or common foreign bodies. This finding reinforced the notion that the structure was unique, neither typical tissue nor recognizable exogenous matter. While the technology provided unprecedented detail, it also underscored the limits of current reference databases and diagnostic algorithms, highlighting the frontier nature of Clara's case. In parallel, we explored experimental diagnostic methods, including functional MRI sequences designed to assess tissue perfusion and metabolic activity. These techniques aimed to capture dynamic physiological processes within the anomaly, potentially revealing patterns of vascularization, inflammation, or metabolic function that static imaging could not detect. Despite meticulous protocol design and repeated scans, the anomaly exhibited minimal perfusion and metabolic activity, consistent with inert or non-vascularized tissue. These findings further complicated interpretation. The lack of metabolic activity argued against neoplastic or inflammatory processes, while the absence of significant perfusion suggested a non-living or avascular structure. Yet, the anomaly's persistence and impact on Clara's respiratory symptoms hinted at more subtle interactions, perhaps mechanical or neurogenic, that escaped direct visualization. Given these challenges, we broadened our investigative lens to consider unconventional theories. Environmental factors were scrutinized, with detailed assessments of Clara's history for potential exposures to rare or novel materials. Toxicology screens and environmental sampling yielded no definitive leads, though the possibility of unknown or synthetic substances remained a subject of cautious speculation. The interdisciplinary team convened regularly, incorporating insights from materials science, biophysics, and environmental health. Discussions explored hypotheses ranging from microscopic embedded particles to bioengineered implants, though none aligned conclusively with the data. This iterative process exemplified the scientific method in action, proposing, testing, and refining theories amid uncertainty. Throughout this phase, the absence of clear scientific answers was both frustrating and motivating. It highlighted the limitations of current diagnostic frameworks and the need for continual advancement in imaging and analytical technologies. Clara's case became a catalyst for research initiatives aimed at developing novel diagnostic tools capable of characterizing atypical anomalies with greater precision. Amid these technological explorations, the importance of integrating patient-centered care remained paramount. Clara was kept informed of each new test and its implications, fostering transparency and shared decision-making. Her engagement and feedback provided valuable context, ensuring that the investigative process remained attuned to her experience and well-being. The persistence of the anomaly without definitive characterization challenged the traditional notions of diagnosis. It underscored the reality that medicine sometimes encounters phenomena that resist immediate explanation, requiring patience, creativity, and humility. Clara's case was emblematic of this challenge, a nexus where technology, biology, and human experience intersected in complex ways. This phase of investigation also spurred reflection on the broader implications for medical practice. How do clinicians navigate cases where technology reveals unexpected findings that defy classification? What are the ethical considerations in pursuing invasive diagnostics versus conservative management when uncertainty prevails? Clara's journey illuminated these questions, emphasizing the need for frameworks that balance scientific inquiry with patient safety and autonomy. The experience fostered collaborative learning among the medical, scientific, and research communities involved. Data from Clara's imaging and analyses were shared under strict ethical protocols to facilitate collective study and potential breakthroughs. This openness embodied the spirit of modern medicine, a commitment to advancing knowledge through shared effort and transparent communication. In the midst of these endeavors, the anomaly remained, a silent, inscrutable presence within Clara's chest. Its persistence was a constant reminder that medicine is an evolving discipline, where certainty is often provisional and mystery an invitation to explore further. The case challenged us to embrace complexity and to recognize that the path to understanding may be nonlinear and prolonged. Clara's ongoing care was adapted to reflect these realities. Monitoring protocols incorporated advanced imaging at defined intervals, alongside clinical assessments tailored to detect subtle changes in symptoms or function. The multidisciplinary team remained vigilant, prepared to respond swiftly should new developments arise. The integration of experimental diagnostics into Clara's case exemplified the cutting edge of medical innovation, yet also revealed the need for continued research and development. It highlighted the importance of bridging technological capabilities with clinical relevance, ensuring that advances translate into meaningful improvements in patient care. Throughout this journey, Clara's resilience and partnership were invaluable. Her willingness to engage with novel procedures and share her experiences enriched the investigative process. It was a testament to the collaborative nature of medicine, where patients and professionals unite in the pursuit of knowledge and healing. As the months unfolded, the exploration of unconventional theories and advanced diagnostics continued, propelled by a commitment to uncover the truth behind the anomaly. Clara's case stood as a beacon, illuminating the challenges and possibilities that lie at the frontier of medical science. A reminder that the quest to understand the human body is ongoing, complex, and profoundly human. Clara Simmons's case, once confined within the walls of the Central Radiology Center, had by now captured the attention of the wider medical community. The anomaly within her chest was no longer a solitary enigma, but a subject of intrigue and deliberation at conferences, research forums, and interdisciplinary meetings around the world. It had become emblematic of the unexplained frontiers in medicine, a poignant reminder that despite vast advancements, mysteries still abound within the human body. Presenting Clara's case at medical symposia was both an honor and a challenge. Each presentation began with the familiar images, the shadow that defied classification, the consistent findings across modalities, and the clinical paradox of mild symptoms amid profound uncertainty. These narratives sparked vigorous discussion among peers, eliciting a spectrum of hypotheses and reflections on diagnostic limits. The case resonated deeply with clinicians and researchers alike. It highlighted the inherent complexity of medical diagnostics and the necessity of humility when confronting the unknown. Colleagues praised the multidisciplinary approach undertaken, emphasizing how collaboration across specialties enriched understanding and fostered innovation. Clara's story became a touchstone for discussions about the balance between technology and clinical acumen. One recurring theme in these forums was the critical importance of open-mindedness. Clara's anomaly defied existing classifications, reminding practitioners that rigid adherence to established categories can obscure novel phenomena. Her case urged the medical community to cultivate curiosity and flexibility, qualities essential for recognizing and investigating atypical presentations. The discourse extended beyond diagnostic challenges to ethical considerations. How should clinicians manage patients with unexplained findings that resist definitive diagnosis? What are the implications for patient care, communication, and shared decision-making? Clara's journey underscored the delicate interplay between providing reassurance and acknowledging uncertainty, a balance that requires empathy and transparency. Amid these professional dialogues, I found myself reflecting on the profound impact this case had on my own practice. It reshaped my approach to diagnostic medicine, reinforcing the value of interdisciplinary collaboration and the willingness to question assumptions. Clara's story became a catalyst for continuous learning, inspiring me to embrace complexity rather than fear it. The case also sparked initiatives within the Central Radiology Center aimed at enhancing education and research. We developed training modules focused on managing unexplained imaging findings, emphasizing critical thinking, patient-centered communication, and collaborative problem-solving. Clara's experience became integral to these efforts, serving as a real-world example of the challenges and opportunities inherent in modern medicine. Research efforts expanded, with collaborations established across institutions to pool data and expertise. Clara's anomaly was included in registries designed to capture rare and atypical findings, fostering the potential for future discoveries and improved diagnostic algorithms. These initiatives embodied a commitment to transforming individual mysteries into collective knowledge. Throughout these developments, the human element remained central. Clara's courage and partnership inspired not only clinical care but also educational and research endeavors. Her case was a reminder that behind every image and data point lies a person whose story shapes and enriches the scientific quest. Presenting Clara's story also highlighted the evolving role of the radiologist, not merely as an image interpreter but as an integral participant in patient care and medical discovery. The anomaly's complexity demanded that I engage deeply with diverse disciplines, communicate openly with patients and colleagues, and navigate uncertainty with humility. This broadened role underscored the dynamic nature of medicine in the 21st century. The case served as a catalyst for reflection on the nature of medical knowledge itself. It revealed that medicine is less a fixed body of facts than a living process of inquiry, one that advances through questions as much as answers. Clara's anomaly was a symbol of this ongoing journey, a beacon illuminating the spaces where science meets the unknown. In clinical practice, the lessons learned from Clara's case informed approaches to other patients with atypical findings. The emphasis on multidisciplinary collaboration, patient engagement, and cautious interpretation became standard, enhancing the quality and safety of care. This ripple effect demonstrated how a single enigmatic case can influence broader clinical paradigms. As Clara continued her care, her case remained a source of professional inspiration and scientific curiosity. It reminded all involved that medicine is a human endeavor, marked by uncertainty and discovery, challenge and hope. The anomaly within her chest was not just a medical puzzle but a narrative about resilience, collaboration, and the pursuit of understanding. Standing at the intersection of clinical medicine, research, and education, Clara's story embodied the spirit of inquiry that drives medical progress. It called on us to remain vigilant, open, and compassionate, qualities that define the best of healthcare. Her journey was a testament to the enduring mysteries within us and the collective determination to illuminate them. In sharing Clara's case with the broader scientific community, I witnessed the powerful synergy that arises when diverse minds unite around a common challenge. It was a reminder that medicine thrives not in isolation but through connection, between disciplines, between clinician and patient, and between curiosity and care. Clara's anomaly, while unresolved, became a catalyst for growth, pushing the boundaries of knowledge, fostering collaboration, and inspiring reflection. It was a narrative that transcended the individual to touch the essence of what it means to practice medicine in an ever-evolving world. Clara Simmons's journey continues to shape my professional life in profound ways. Though the anomaly within her chest remains a medical mystery, its presence has become a catalyst for growth, innovation, and reflection. Not just for me, but for the entire Central Radiology Center. Our commitment to unraveling this enigma has expanded beyond a single case into a broader mission: to pioneer research, educate future clinicians, and embrace the unknown with humility and curiosity. Clara remains under our vigilant care, her health stable but her anomaly still unexplained. Each imaging session, each clinical evaluation, is a step forward in a journey marked by patience and persistence. Her resilience inspires not only her care team but also the many students and trainees I have the privilege to mentor. Through her story, they learn that medicine is not solely about definitive answers, but about navigating uncertainty with compassion and rigor. At the Central Radiology Center, we have integrated Clara's case into our educational programs, using it as a real-world example of diagnostic complexity and interdisciplinary collaboration. Trainees study the imaging sequences, review the multidisciplinary discussions, and engage in ethical debates about managing unexplained findings. Clara's story embodies the lessons of humility, empathy, and relentless inquiry that are essential to medical practice. Research initiatives sparked by this case have flourished. We have established collaborations with other institutions, fostering networks dedicated to exploring rare and unexplained anomalies. Clara's imaging data, clinical findings, and the investigative processes we have employed contribute to a growing repository that may one day elucidate similar cases or even reveal new aspects of human anatomy and pathology. This endeavor underscores the evolving role of radiologists as not just diagnosticians, but as active participants in research, education, and patient advocacy. Clara's case has challenged us to think beyond standard imaging protocols and to innovate in both technology and approach. It has reinforced the importance of maintaining an open mind and cultivating interdisciplinary partnerships that enrich understanding and improve patient care. Reflecting on Clara's journey, I am reminded of the delicate balance between knowledge and mystery that defines medicine. Her anomaly, persistent and inscrutable, stands as a symbol of the limits of our current science and the vast potential for future discovery. It challenges us to embrace uncertainty not as failure but as an invitation to learn, to question, and to grow. Throughout this process, the human element has been paramount. Clara's courage and trust have been a guiding light, reminding us that behind every enigmatic image lies a person whose life is touched by our work. Her story is a testament to the resilience of patients and the profound responsibility of healthcare providers to accompany them through the unknown with empathy and dedication. As I continue to share Clara's case with colleagues, students, and researchers, I emphasize the enduring lessons it imparts. Medicine is a dynamic field, where each patient encounter is an opportunity to expand our horizons. The mysteries we face are not obstacles but pathways to deeper understanding and better care. Clara's anomaly remains a silent challenge, a riddle woven into the fabric of her being and into the collective experience of those who care for her. It is a reminder that the human body holds secrets yet to be uncovered, and that the quest to reveal them is ongoing and vital. In the quiet moments of reflection, I consider how Clara's story has shaped my approach to medicine. It has taught me to balance confidence with humility, to value collaboration over isolation, and to recognize that compassion is as essential as knowledge. Her journey has deepened my appreciation for the complexities of human health and the profound privilege of being part of a patient's story. The Central Radiology Center continues to evolve, inspired by cases like Clara's that push the boundaries of what is known. We strive to cultivate an environment where curiosity thrives, where uncertainty is embraced as a natural part of discovery, and where patients are partners in the journey toward understanding. Clara's story is not just a medical anomaly. It is a narrative of hope, resilience, and the enduring human spirit. It reminds us that medicine is as much about listening and learning as it is about diagnosing and treating. Her journey encourages us to remain steadfast in the face of uncertainty and to continue seeking answers with compassion and perseverance. As I look to the future, I carry with me the lessons of Clara's case, a beacon guiding my path as a clinician, educator, and researcher. Her anomaly, mysterious and unresolved, is a testament to the challenges and wonders of medicine, a field forever evolving, forever questioning, and forever dedicated to the care of those who entrust us with their health. Clara's heartbeat, silent yet persistent within her chest, symbolizes the delicate interplay between the known and the unknown that defines our work. It is a rhythm that calls us to remain curious, compassionate, and committed, a rhythm that embodies the very essence of medicine itself.